I'm still trying to figure out this elf house in my big house, which is in southern Colorado, which isn't actually a house, it's more of an elf village. Because, like, we've talked about this house inside of a house that is a little house, and I thought that no one was going to ever be there, and that's why I would take naps there, but only in the living room because I can only fit in the living room probably, because I don't think I can really fit in the bedrooms. But it might be an elf mansion now that I think about it because it might be more for kids. But I also have to figure out like the elf village, which isn't actually an elf village. It's like an adult village. But I do think it has to have like an elf coffee shop. I actually wasn't quite planning the North Pole, but like now that I think about it, like I do want a coffee shop that's elf size. But there has to be one table for Meg and I. Well, oh my gosh, what about Megs and I? Well, I guess we're not going to be able to use that coffee shop very often. We're going to have to go to the other coffee shop. But I mean, there is a table like where like I have to be able to go like and sit in the elf coffee shop if I need to work at the elf coffee shop. And the table is small enough. No, the table has to be big enough because I'm big. I'm wearing my lucky shirt. It's never worked before, but it's wrinkled, so probably it's gonna work now. This is the one shirt that fits. What you learn when you're like elf is like, well, was I elf? I guess I was the opposite elf. I was like the most confused elf. What you learn is that you have to try on your clothes. So like it's like the number one rule. So apparently this shirt fits and it's a large, but then I've got this extra large like hoodie, which I know that one's big enough. I promise. I start looking at it. I'm like, this thing doesn't even like cover my stomach. So there's an elf coffee shop in the elf village, which isn't an elf village, but like, do you guys remember the Microtel? When I was a little kid, like I knew the Microtel was like miniature, and like now I'm grown up and I'm like, why does the Microtel like just look like a hotel, but it's called Microtel? But like I wasn't a little kid then. I was like I was like in high school. But I remember the Microtel. I was like, it's miniature, but it's big. Like how is it big and miniature? It was like the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. But it wasn't actually. Like now that I look at it, it's just a hotel with smaller windows probably. So like what I'm trying to say is like we got to have an elf coffee shop like because it has to have like elf type tables like and elf type seats and everything and like I mean you could be like I don't know how we can pull it off, but like I mean maybe the bar seating is where like bigger people can sit. I don't know exactly how to pull this. I mean I think that like generally coffee shops do actually want you to sit at the bar area, but then no one wants to sit at the bar area. So like the coffee shops are always trying to figure out like how to fit more people in there. So maybe like big people can go in there and like, but like, I don't know exactly how it works. Guess we'd have to have little people working there and like that would work out. I mean, I guess we could pull that one off. But the big thing is that there's like a village connected to the big house, which has like a little house, which is an elf house, which isn't that small because it's actually a house like for a little person that's a little bit smaller. But then you start realizing, but then I realized yesterday, like it is a kid's house. And like, and if there's anything you can do is find a place where the kids like can hide from you. Go hide from me. Stay away until I decide you should be around me. And that's why it became like a little elf mansion because like the kids probably should like hide in their mansion. So, Holy Forever is a song that this Russian band has, and there's this girl. And I haven't decided if she's like identical to this girl, like that would be a clone. Because like what happens is you start like realizing that it will change the way your face looks, like if you have certain color hair, and you figure out how it changes their hair, and then you start like figuring out like that you can shape eyebrows because Mia Khalifa, and then you also start figuring out that like you can dye eyebrows. So I mean, this chick was so good looking, and like she's like, oh, like why is she so beautiful? I don't care if you're CC Winans, like you're good enough, trust me. And like I can't figure out if it's like because she's Rainbow Satanica's like big version. Because we all have lookalikes, and like she definitely could have a lookalike as a big, but she's like that little of a person. So like, but like she could have look like it's a big person. And like when I'm talking about like this idea for like the elf coffee shop and like the elf village, and like I feel like if there's an elf coffee shop, like I mean that means she has to get coffee for it. Like, I can't make the coffee. Like, do we have to make like miniature coffee machines? No, she can have a big coffee machine. It has to be like a Christmas coffee machine. Like, remember in the Santa Claus where like he has the best cup of coffee of his life? No, it's the best hot cocoa. And like, but I feel like he probably had like a big metal, crazy looking machine with like, you know, like, and then it comes out and it's like, ching, and then, oh my gosh, it's incredible. I think what happens is I get a little bit crazy about anyone that could look like Rainbow Satanica. You could look like Rainbow Satanica. You already found Rainbow Satanica. Doesn't matter, you can look like her. So I start examining you too closely. Maybe Rainbow Satanica's giant version. You never know. Like I know this chick was like one of the hottest like on Twitter before, you know. And all right, so this has been great. The moral of the story is like Elf Village. We got to do it. I feel like the Elf House, like there could be an upstairs, like where like I don't even have to go through the house. Like I will climb the house to get on the balcony to go sit on the balcony of the Elf House. And like the best thing about having an Elf House indoors is you don't have to worry about like sloping roofs and stuff like that. Like you don't have to follow the same like engineering like philosophy stuff. At least I don't think you do. So yeah, get excited about an Elf Village. If I don't die in prison every day I wake up, I'm gonna die.